I just found out about this today. The $1 million Mark actually did a video on this. He pretty much did a rant. I didn't really know what this petition was, let alone what it was for. But I just knew it was about John Cena, and I was like, oh boy. But what I did was this. Since I didn't really find out all the information I want to know, I ended up looking it up on YouTube, and I ended up coming across the Prodigal Champ. Now, the Prodigal Champ actually did have a copy of this petition, and I actually did read from his video. Well, he left a link on his video, and I actually did read it. Now, looking at the petition, I understand that the people, whoever wrote this, actually had a legitimate gripe. And I can kind of understand why they were upset. And they were actually, it was not only, it was fairly neutral, it wasn't even, condescending or anything at all. They actually did have a very legitimate gripe. And I'm actually going to leave a link down below for it. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not supporting this, and I'm not against it. I'm just stating facts here. I'm only stating facts of what I read. Now, these people do have a legitimate gripe, whoever wrote it. They don't want, and it seems to me that whoever wrote it probably never experienced what these people are going through, having a child that has cancer. Now, they do have legitimate gripe. They don't want their child, they don't want pretty much either cancer patients, disease patients, what have you. They don't want someone's illness exposed for not personal, but professional gain. They don't want this person's illness used to get someone else over, or, like I said, professional gain. For example, John Cena and his whole Make-A-Wish Foundation. They say he's done more wishes than anyone else on the roster, blah, 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 blah. We all know the story. But from what I'm hearing from both sides, a lot of people are saying, I'm not going by the videos, but I'm just saying that from what I've heard, read on Twitter, whatever, that a lot of people believe that John Cena is actually using this child to get himself over, because he's been booed for nearly 10 years. Even though I disagree with that, because there was a time that John Cena actually was getting a little bit more cheer. It was kind of neutral. And that was during the whole Roman Reigns thing, as well as his feud with Rusev. He actually was getting some cheers. But in this case, people believe that he was using that child that he gave a shout out to in order to get himself over. Now, I'm not thinking of it in terms of John Cena. I'm not even thinking of it in terms of the Smarks. I'm not even thinking of terms of the IWC. I'm thinking of it as what that child may be thinking. That child was happy as a lark. I have never seen a child grin from ear to ear standing next to the wrestler that he loved and cared about and wanted to meet. That's all he wanted. Or she. I'm not sure if it was a boy or girl. My bad. But that's all this child wanted. If you know if it was, I'm not going to go there. But anyway, I just saw the look at that child's face. That child looked so happy standing next to John Cena. And the fact that that child held that sign up proudly saying, I beat cancer, that's a triumph. That's a victory. And he wanted to share the victory with John Cena. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with the petition either. I understand what the petition is saying. But I really do feel that this petition is going to be used as a tool to take down Cena. It's going to be used as a hate tool to take down Cena. Its genuine purpose is going to be tainted by those that hate this man. That's my legitimate gripe of the whole thing. Now, I can say for those who sign this thing, it's just evil. I'm not going to go there, because everybody is entitled to their own opinion, to their own beliefs, what have you. If they want to sign it, that's up to them. If they don't, it's up to them. That's their decision. But the one thing I don't agree with is if you take the actual contract, what it was made for, not contract, but the petition, what it was made for, out of context, because you hate John Cena, for your sheer hatred of somebody you don't know. Excuse me. That's the only problem that I have with this, is the fact that the hatred for John Cena has gone way too far. It's been 10 years, people, and it hasn't stopped. It's actually spreading. Does anybody literally have legitimate reason to hate anyone, let alone John Cena? Somebody you've never met? Somebody you've never known in your entire life? Somebody you've never hung out with? You know nothing about this man. And for some reason, you're literally taking his character and making the character the actual person. There's John Cena, the WWE character, and there's John Cena, the man. I don't know John Cena, the man. I know I didn't like John Cena during Survivor Series, and that was my personal belief. But the one thing that I am not going to do is go far beyond Call of Duty to take this man down when I don't even know the dude. He's a character. That's a character he is playing. You don't have to like him. You don't have to agree with anything he's saying. But for crying out loud, this petition is going to affect not only other children from Make-A-Wish, it's going to affect adults too. Did you think about that? If you said no more sick children. Okay, fine. What if you have a sick kid? Or, okay, what's your definition of a kid? Do you think a definition of a kid is 5 to 8? 10 to 12? How about teenager? There wasn't really a legitimate number, but the fact of the matter is, I guess maybe I do have a little bit of a gripe with the petition, as well as those who may use it in the wrong hands. But there wasn't. It can affect not only children, which everyone's definition of a child is probably the age of, I don't know, 2 to 5 maybe, or 5 to 8. But it can also affect children that are a little bit higher than that. And it shouldn't be that way at all. I don't really think it was exposing anyone. But even if it is, that's sad. Because that shows how much the entire company is lacking. But honestly, we have absolutely no proof on whether or not these children were a plant. And that's the one thing that shocks me the most too. The fact of the matter is, and I've actually heard this on the Prodigal channel. They made a comment about this. Some people actually thought that child was a plant. Some people thought that child wasn't sick at all. Really? Do you honestly believe that somebody would literally lie about cancer? Do you honestly believe that somebody would lie about them being sick? No. No, not at all. But the one thing that I kind of have concern about with this petition, and I've said this before, just a few minutes back, that I really feel that this petition is going to be used for the wrong reasons. I feel that this petition is going to be used for those that genuinely hate John Cena. And they'll do everything they can to take Cena down when Cena has done nothing wrong. He hasn't. And I'm going to state it right now. John Cena has done nothing wrong. He uplifted a child. He made that child's day. That in itself is a victory. That in itself is a triumph for that child. That really lifted up that child, and that's a good thing, not a bad one. Don't let your hatred for a guy you don't know get in the way of a happiness that a child had for maybe a few minutes. Because honestly, it's just about y'all. And I'm talking about all the Cena haters out there, all the IWC that ran about John Cena, blah, 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 blah. And yes, I know I did the same thing too, but about the character. But besides all that, I really do believe that it is absolutely ridiculous that everybody's in an uproar because of Cena. Now, the one thing that $1 Million Mark did point out was about Connor and Daniel Bryan. Connor brought a lot of happiness to a lot of people. And don't get it wrong, because I actually did say I even did a discussion video on it. I'm putting it out there. I did not agree with having Connor being in the Hall of Fame. I understood if he got the Warrior Award, but I think it was a little bit too much to have him in the Hall of Fame. That was my opinion of it. But do I hate Connor? Do I hate Daniel Bryan for that reason? No, not at all. In the end, it was their decision. They wanted to do something nice for him because he made everybody happy, and that's great. That really is. I still didn't agree, but it doesn't matter, does it? No, because they made that decision to put him in there. But the thing is this. Connor brought a lot of happiness to a lot of people in the WWE. John Cena brought 5 minutes of happiness to that child. Why take that from him? Just because you hate John Cena. Now, here's the question. Does anybody legitimately, in this day and age, 10 years later, have a legitimate hate towards a guy you don't know? I'm curious to hear. And I don't want to hear the 5 moves of doom because he's boring, because of all this stuff. Hatred is a strong word, and hatred affects a lot of people. Not the good way, a bad way. The one thing I don't agree about this entire thing is the fact that that child just wanted 5 minutes with the champ. That's all he wanted. 5 minutes with the champ. And he got his 5 minutes. Should we be happy for that child, or should we make it about us? Well, not even about us. I'm not even mad, but make it about the haters. For those that actually are hating on this, why make it about you? You should be looking at that child. If that child's not happy, I understand. Be pissed. But that child was happy. So don't you think it's time to let it go? But anyway, just to close out, just to wrap this whole thing up, too late. I do agree with what the petition is saying, but I think it's going to bring a very, very negative outcome. And for those who are going to use this as hate fodder for John Cena, I pity you, and I will pray for y'all. Seriously. Because this hatred needs to stop. It has gone way too far, and it needs to end now. But I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. Leave a comment in the comment section below or send a video response. I want to hear y'all's thoughts, because I really do believe that this hatred has gone too far and it needs to stop now. And we really do need to embrace the love and to actually allow that child to enjoy himself and to have his 5 minutes with the champ, and allow other children in the future to have their 5 minutes with people that they like to be with, whether it's John Cena or otherwise. Because honestly, if it wasn't John Cena, nobody would care. But since it is John Cena, he's under fire. And that's not right, because he did nothing wrong. And I'm going to say that right now. He did nothing wrong. I'm out, y'all.